How you doing? It's Cy. I'm from Vegas. We're holding it down. You could go to cyforever.com, get my album, The Keeper. That's the only place you could get it. And I'm tuned in with Such a Bop.
Such a music head. Music so much.
Such a bop.
Such a bop.
Such a bop.
Get ready for today's guest, American recording artist and star in the making, who's appeared in a photo shoot with the likes of Mike Tyson and has received positive feedback on his music, including the production for songs like NYC and The Backseat and Let's Rock. His album, The Keeper, is available now. He is Cy. Hey, Cy. So this is Such a Bop. So tell us, what is your all-time favorite bop? Let's start there.
All-time favorite bop. I have to go something by Michael. Like right off the top, I gotta go something by Michael. Like Thriller. I danced to Thriller as a kid. That's my bop.
Oh, nice. That's a good one. Michael Jackson, in case anyone's under a rock, right?
Yeah.
When did your love for music start, by the way?
That's been all my life, really. I live for music. It's everything that I do. I danced as a kid. I love dancing. I love choreography. Everything for music. I used to sit in front of the TV, watch the music videos. Like as a kid, I used to dress up as the country singers, the rock stars. I just like to imitate it. It's just always been something that I've done my whole life. I just love it.
Wow. And how did you get exposed to any of that?
My mom, my family, my older brothers. I got 5 older brothers and three older sisters and older cousins, and I got a huge family, and it's all music based. That it come from different backgrounds. My brothers listen to metal music. My mom listens to Alanis Morissette, older music. Like just it's all over the place. So it really just started from the family unit.
That's cool. Do you think that your family was surprised when they noticed that you wanted to pursue music?
I don't know if they were surprised, but I think they were surprised that maybe like some of the music that I've made, maybe some of the songs kind of were not what they were expecting, but I think everybody expected me to do music or something in music, production or stage design, or I'd do something,
All right, definitely talented and creative at heart.
Sure, yeah.
So would you consider yourself, you're a rapper, right?
I'd say rapper just because that's the music that I find myself doing most of the time, and I really like the art of what rap music is, the art of rapping. So, but I don't all the time like to call myself a rapper because it feels like you kind of get thrown into a box and maybe people want to see you do a certain thing. So, but rapper's okay, yeah.
So maybe you like rapper's okay, but you maybe prefer to be called an artist? Is that it?
Yeah,
okay.
I tell people that often, like, I prefer artist over rapper, but, rapper, like I said, I do rap music. So if that's what they say,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how did you fall into rap?
That came kind of on my own. I had some outside influences from the friends that I grew up with. My family didn't really listen to too much hip hop. They did, like if it came on the radio, the popular songs and stuff, but they weren't like hip hop enthusiasts, like I really kind of developed that on my own for my family. I'm the one person in my whole family that really like could tell you things about hip hop or, talks about it on a regular. So for me, that was just something. I grew up in Vegas, so maybe there was just something about the city or just that was the popular music, or I don't know. It just kind of touched me in a way as a kid. Like I had to do that,
You were born in Cali and like you said, raised in Vegas, right?
Yeah, Pomona. I was born in Pomona.
Okay, and so also, do you think like that being raised in Las Vegas where there's a lot of entertainment, do you think that also maybe influenced a love for music at all?
Absolutely. Like the city is insane. Like as a kid, I wouldn't say it influenced me to be a rapper, but it definitely, like the high level entertainment that's in Vegas is like Cirque du Soleil, like seeing those things as a kid, it was just like it seemed like something that was not real. It seemed like some kind of mushroom trip or something. Like it just didn't seem realistic. So it definitely took my vision to that level of like, okay, I want to do, if I'm gonna do entertainment, it's got to be like that level, you know, that level of entertainment, you know.
All right, Sai. Yeah, so you did speak about like it wasn't like real to you initially. Sometimes people, when they want to get into the arts, they have people that tell them it's not a realistic path. You got to be more practical and everything. Have you ever heard that? And if so, how did you bypass all of that?
I still hear that. Even some of my family, even after everything, are still like, just I think people just want the best for you, really. So for anybody that hears that as an artist, I feel like that's the people around you wanting the best for you, and they want you to make sure you have something for yourself, because they know what it's like to get older, or whatever their perspective is. So I feel like people just try to look out for you, but you gotta, if you have that belief in yourself, you just gotta push through it. You just like, you can't listen. You just gotta take their perspective in, but you can't do what they say. Ultimately you got to do what you believe in. So to push through that's what it takes. You just do what you believe in.
And then when did you start to say, I'm gonna go after this?
It took me a while. It took it's I feel like I'm still on the breakthrough of a lot of these emotions of like pushing through and trying to figure out like what to do with those emotions as they arise, because obviously you get that fight or flight. You either want to shut down or you want to go into it. So I'm finding more how to get into this space and push through it, and just develop the thick skin that I need to just get through it.
Why do you need to develop the thick skin?
Because this is not easy. Like, putting yourself out there, it's not comfortable. It's not supposed to be comfortable. It's not supposed to feel like a space that maybe even that you're always supposed to be in. You might have to push in the spaces that, okay, I found out I'm not supposed to be there. Let me, but if you don't have somewhat of a tough mindset to like attack those feelings, then you'll kind of shut down from it. I feel like that's where some people may lose their spark along the way. The people that we looked up to maybe as kids, or an artist or an actor or somebody, they might lose that spark because they didn't, maybe, I don't know, they weren't prepared for things. I don't know. I'm still getting into it, so I'm learning some more things, but I feel like you just like to have thick skin. Like, you gotta, weather those tough times, I guess.
Did you know that going in that you would need to have thick skin?
I did a bit, but not as much. Like I said, I'm learning more now. So, but I was the youngest of 6 boys. So thick skin to me is kind of like almost automatic. Like, as soon as you see those angles coming, or you see that, it's like, okay, let me adjust to this, and that kind of feels natural to me. But I didn't expect I didn't expect as much negativity, that's for sure. Like, you're pushing through something, but it's been a journey already.
Before like we get more into that, who were some of your influences aside from like Michael Jackson? Or is there any influence that you have?
Absolutely, yeah. Like, so many different kinds of things influence me. It's strange. Like, I was really, in high school, right before I feel like I took off and like decided to make this happen, which was like right after high school. um I feel like I was more paying attention to the athletic space and like more into that. So still to this day, I feel like I learned a lot from what athletics teaches, martial arts, and just competition. Really, I feel like that teaches people a certain thing. So there's principles, and my coach used to call them non-tangibles or intangibles, for like what makes up an athlete. And you got to have the whole package put together. You got to have your mindset right. You got to be looking at things the right way for the right reasons and stuff. So that's really just before music, I feel like that's what inspired me, was like a lot of athletics and like just that mindset. Like you see your favorite athlete talking on the television, and it's like they're just saying things. They might give glory to God or be it whatever it is, but it's just it's crazy to see them operate the way that they do. So I feel like focusing more on those things, and like seeing that even from the superstars I've been inspired by, Michael or anybody like that did song and dance, just anything, like athletics. So those things, it's all inspiring. I just take it all in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Speaking of athletics, at what point did you, get to be in a photo shoot with Mike Tyson and he got to be in a photo shoot with you?
Yeah. That happened. That happened back in 2021, I think. And my cousin, he had a relationship with Mike Tyson through the business, through the cannabis industry,
Okay.
and I met my cousin through ancestry.com. So it was this kind of like, to be situation that it kind of just came to that. He was working with Mike Tyson and he met me. And when he met me, I was doing my photo shoots and I was working on my first mixtape, and he saw that and just thought that I was the right guy at the right time. So he just kind of, asked the people there, the creative directors, doing the photo shoot, if it would be okay. And they said so. So I was the guy.
Were you nervous or just cool about it?
I tried to be cool about it, but like the whole time, and then Mike showed up and it was like he walked up and gave me the fist bump, and I was like, all right, like this is the man, like I was a bit nervous.
Like, what do you think is like the purpose of that photo shoot? Is there any message at all, or?
I feel like the message with that was, because I don't even know if the photo shoot ever went commercial or if they ever even did anything with it. But for me, it was like a moment, because I was working on my mixtape, and I was like, for a year before that, I was like, I'm gonna drop my mixtape on my birthday when I turn 21. So January 4th, I turned 21, and then 2 days later was the photo shoot. So I dropped my mixtape, and then the photo shoot was right after that. So it was like this, moment for me. I was living in Hollywood. I'm like trying to chase the dream kind of thing, and it all kind of came together in that way.
That's so cool. What year was this?
2021.
Okay, I was gonna say 2020. All right,
Yeah.
2021. Yeah. So what is your music inspired by? What inspires you?
I like I like to be triumphant. I like to feel like you're beating something or winning the battle, like. So
Mhm.
my music, I feel like maybe not every song feels that way, because sometimes maybe you need to capture the vibe of what you're not triumphant over until you get there, or it's hard to figure out the direction to go every time. But mostly, like, especially this stuff that I'm working on, like, and trying to push out now, like I really want it to be like triumphant at the highest level, just feel like breaking through.
Okay. What is it about like triumph that makes you want to share it with people in your music?
I feel like it's a part of hip hop, especially like if I'm gonna do hip hop and be known for this and, take this approach to it, then I feel like that's just such an important element of hip hop. Maybe one of the more important elements of hip hop, next to, or maybe, second to, the struggles and the pain, obviously. But I think really the triumph of it, maybe having that, you know, to offer is just, it's such an important aspect of what hip hop is, you know, from
Wow.
what from what I've always been able to see from the outside. Like, it just feels that way, you know.
Do you want to share like some of the biggest things you've had to overcome so far in life?
Yeah, maybe find more creative ways. They might come out in the videos. It might come out, you know, I even want to explore acting. Like, it may even come out in, you know, some dance routine that I, you know, put the creative direction on or something, you know, like, but absolutely, like, I definitely want to, you know, voice what I've been through as well.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you rap. What else do you do that you're talented? What else do we need to know about you, Sai?
I love art.
Film
I
me.
love contemporary art. I love, like I said, I want to try acting. I want to try playing some roles. Like, I maybe I have a fascination with playing a role like that people, like, maybe they don't like you. Like, I just have that, like, desire maybe to, like, potentially play a role that people don't like. They actually hate the character, you know, like, they're like, I hate this guy, you know, like, I think that that would be fun. So I'm interested in, like, acting and creative direction of all sorts, music video direction and movie directing, like anything that I can do, like, you know, and creative design too. Like, I really like to make the art myself and be hands-on. So that's important to me to, if you know, if I'm on it, I want it to be like hand-drawn art. Like, I want it to be all in-house made, you know, like, I don't want it to be, especially with this AI and stuff going on, like, I don't want it to be anything that's questionable in its authenticity, you know. I want it to be true to self, you know.
What do you think about AI? Yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
It's it's useful.
Musically. Okay.
Yeah, in a practical way, it's useful. Like, my manager can take some of his information that he has and kind of maybe organize it in a way, or there's, you know, some other useful aspects to it. But I I don't even know how people are applying it to the music space. That's one thing that, like, I won't even Google, or I won't look into research that is finding out, like, how to use it even in the music space, because that, to me, it's not useful. That would seem like I would have to take the time to learn about AI, and when I could just make it, you know? So
Mm.
to me, it's okay, but also feel like anytime I see something from AI, you can kind of tell. So
Yeah.
it makes it feel like it's not authentic, you know? So I don't like it overall.
Yeah, there's something about it that is like robotic. And in the images, you could see like a distorted, something is distorted in it.
Something is strange about it. Yeah, and all, some of the art comes out okay, but like, I just overall, I think it's just not authentic.
As you like continue to grow and grow in your career and flourish, do you imagine that you still want to be so hands-on, or you want to have a good team in place?
I
To
think both. I think both. Yeah, I think having a team that's hands-on would be like the dream, you know, some having, you know, to have maybe a group of people that, 5, 6 people that are just as passionate and just as hands-on as I am, and, you know, can take the things that we make and distribute them and work them in the correct ways. That's awesome. So I think that that's how we'll do it, you know, from now until, you know, whenever we stop, we retire, whatever happens, that I think that we'll just do it in-house. We have the time to do it. It's what I want to do with my life. So I feel like it's better to just always have that in your mind. Like, it's going to take that time to perfect the lines, perfect the drawing, perfect the recording, the mastering. It's gonna take that time, and that's okay, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, because you have your own in-house production.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like to do everything in-house. I feel like maybe there's even things I could have done that would have bettered my career to some people in their opinion, but we spend a lot of money and time on equipment and, lighting equipment, recording equipment, anything that we can invest our money into to make sure that we have the ability for not only myself, but the other artists that we work with that are maybe with other, record labels, or they're with, other music groups, and they have no affiliation with myself or with Recovering Child Music, but they can still, have that access, through friendship to come and, we can do their music videos. We can at least record their album. We're working on getting a producer in-house that can like master it and make our sounds go loud. That's our next biggest feat. But, I really want to keep it in-house and, make sure that people, because that's the most authentic way for me,
Yeah, we can see that authenticity is something that really means something to you, Sai, which is,
Sure.
do you think people can tell when an artist is not authentic? And if so, how?
Yes, they can tell right away. To answer the question, like they can tell right away. And some people settle. I feel like it's okay. Sometimes people go, okay, like I understand. Maybe they're trying to like, and that's kind of the conversation maybe people have in their head with somebody they can tell is not authentic, is like maybe they're doing this for XYZ reasons. But when something is authentic, how you can tell something isn't authentic, there, I feel like there's many a factors. But I f- like I feel like if you don't live for it, that's the dead giveaway. Is like if somebody puts on a costume and gets on a stage with a microphone, it's like I feel like you could tell, before the show's even over, before they're even fully in swing, even like I feel like you can just kind of feel it. So and through their interviews, if you look at their interviews, if you look at the things that they do, maybe you'll be able to pick up on like, things about them that are just not like, you know, some people are just full of shit.
Yeah. Do you have a preference, like being in the studio or being on stage? Do you think that an artist could ever decide, well, I don't know, I'm more comfortable in the studio, or I'm more comfortable on the stage. I can't wait to take the stage.
I understand why artists are more comfortable in the studio, because when you ask that, like initially, I'm like, of course I'm more comfortable in the studio, but I I feel like I'm more comfortable being uncomfortable, like now. So that's where when I'm in the studio and I'm relaxed, I feel like that's when I have like maybe the most anxiety and the most impulsive thoughts to do things that like are just on a whim, maybe not the right thing to do because you have idle time, And what do they say? They say the devil makes work for idle hands. So when you're just sitting there in the studio, I feel like that's when it all rises up. That's where the problems are for a lot of artists. It's like, get out of the studio. If you're in the studio, like go live some of life and go feel things out and then bring it back to that space or something. But for me, I live to be on the stage. We work every day to try and get it like to the proper stage too. I just had an interview recently, like I told them too, I was like, I can't get on the stage if it's like 15 people out there, like I just like, we gotta put this product in the right space. So we fight every day to try and get it to that level,
So what ideal audience amount are you comfortable with?
I want to be at the festivals. I want to be like, we just submitted our application because they just opened this month, or they're officially open in August, but I know we just submitted the application for South by Southwest.
Okay.
And then there's Rolling Loud, and so I really want to be on the stage, like bigger stage.
Yeah, and you will. Now with the 15 people, do you feel like what is it about that you're like, oh, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I mean, aside from the obvious, that's not a lot of people, but that also could be like 15 more people.
Sure.
Watch
Yeah,
you,
I was
right?
gonna say I love those 15 people. I'd love it to like maybe in different, maybe not perform for them, but maybe it'd be cool to they know who I am kind of thing, and they're so we play some new music for them, and we can, you know, I'll show them some of my designs that are under, like I'll kick it with people. I have no problem, you know, but I just feel like for a performance, I feel like that's so like that takes something out of the artist to get up there and do that, you know, like so taking, you know, the give and the take for it for me is like it takes a lot for me, so I feel like I need a lot, you know, in a selfish way even.
Okay, that's real. Yeah.
Yeah.
What has been the response like so far that you get about, I mean, obviously like the production and everything is really good, and you know, you can see like the creative eye even like in your visual for like NYC in the back seat. But yeah,
Sure.
what has been like the response, and what kind of response do you want?
The response that I've gotten has been good. I feel like I've given people something that they could be satisfied with, you know? So even if maybe there has been some negative response or whatever, I still feel like I did at the max level, maybe even at that time, because you know we're leveling up every day. But at that time, we did the most that we could. Never been to New York City, did the most we could for the music video. We did the most we could to take that album and put it in the best position possible, you know, humbly, you know. So um the response I'd like to get would be a bit more of an overwhelming one, maybe, of course, but um I feel very happy. I go to sleep, you know, and wake up every day very satisfied with what I did on that project. So that's, you know, happiness there, and then to see that it's at least been appreciated by some fellow creatives as yourself, and you know other people, you know, that's, you know, euphoric almost, you know.
Mhm. All right, that's wonderful. What are your thoughts on critics? Should artists listen to critics?
um I feel like you should go through stages. I like maybe in the very beginning, like if you like are just recording music and having like absolutely no idea where to go with this, then maybe some critical thinking around you could help you, you know, decide, okay, you're right, maybe I don't like those things about that, or you know, maybe I don't want to do that. But if you start to see, especially in yourself, changes within you as you're making your music or you're making your craft, that like this feels different, this feels like far beyond like what somebody could critique from me, you know, then that's your first sign, like you're really onto something, you know.
Mhm.
So you should listen, but once you, like, you know, as an artist, once you reach that point, you know right away, like, you know, I know what I'm doing, and this is what I'm gonna do. So
And is it the responsibility of the younger new artists, or like more seasoned older artists to like connect? Do you feel like you all should be listening to older artists, or that they should try to help in some way?
I feel like if I was in that position, I would do it, but as a young artist, I wouldn't get it into your mind that you're gonna find someone to co-sign you or to give you advice, or you know, like I think that your path is your path, you know, like so maybe if you're lucky and you're in the moment, this person will pull you aside. You know, I just seen a video going viral recently of Pharrell doing that, but it's like you don't see Pharrell stopping everybody and giving advice to everybody, you know, like so, you know, if you're lucky enough and you're in that position, listen to somebody. If you look up to him and you want to be like Pharrell, then his advice would be like, you know, worth $1 million. But if you don't want to be like certain people, don't take their advice.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you feel about meet and greets?
Those are cool. I think it'd be cool to do that. I think it'd be cool to pull up somewhere and just hang out. Like that's cool.
And do you think like it needs to be extra safe just thinking about like some things in terms of like fans and everything, like, or maybe not even fans, but because all those really fans if they're trying to hurt or harm an artist?
Sure, sure. Yeah, definitely make it safe. I think that, there's been probably, I couldn't even say, there's been a number of things already in the last few weeks that my manager has had to kind of put off, or maybe we're thinking differently about it just because we want to make sure that things are safe, and I'll say too, like in terms of being safe, I think right away, like we don't go to LA a lot. That's for a reason. Like, we don't spend a lot of time in Los Angeles unless it's like we're there and we get out, like, or whereas, one of the homies' house is somewhere safe. But that's, that's definitely a priority. Meet and grease, in between the functions and stuff. You got to stay safe. You got to make sure that, security is correct.
I want to know your thoughts on award shows and then what else are priorities for you?
Yeah, I want to be in the award shows. I'm trying to get there. They didn't just send me the invite, but on a serious note, that really is something for me. Like, that's a major goal. Like, and I don't know if that's for every artist. Some artists say that that's not something that you should pay attention to, but that's just more advice, So it's like it's just really up to you whether or not you want to take it. Like for me, I think even just striving to get to that height of music that's healthy. I feel like that's a healthy thing. You wouldn't tell an athlete to not want to win the Super Bowl,
Right.
like, so that's for most musicians, that's the ultimate like ring around the rosy. That's the ultimate, like, you got to go up with that, or it's not, for some people it's not like you did it, like you got that full helping. I want to see what that feels like. At least to be invited and attended would be an accomplishment in itself.
Hmm. When that happens, like, how do you think you're gonna approach it? Are you gonna be like studying or just being in the moment? I don't know. What do you visualize?
Yeah, probably more in the moment. I feel like I'm studying now. I feel like, now in my career going, the trajectory that is going, it's only right that, okay, start paying attention to these things and, like learn what I can now. Cause once I'm in that moment, that'll definitely be my approach, is be right there in that moment and live it to its fullest moment. You know what I mean? To its fullest potential. So, um, yeah, definitely take like a steady approach to it, like I don't want to, squander the opportunity in nerves and thought, that could just kind of ruin it. So,
Anyone you would be excited to meet? Just in general. Yeah.
yeah, some actors, like I said, I really like movie and film. So like being some of the big time actors maybe or something would really feel like that Hollywood like whoa moment kind of thing. But um it's kind of hard because I feel like I've met a lot of people. We had a it's we sold the house now, but it was sort of like a party mansion in Vegas called the Cali Mansion, and there was all kinds of celebrities that came through there. So we almost shot a reality TV show there. It was so, I feel like in terms of like my idols, it'd be awesome to meet like the people, like, musicians I looked up to, or actors and stuff that you watched as a kid. Like, everybody watched Pirates of the Caribbean. It'd be crazy to meet Orlando Bloom or something, but like whatever.
Mhm. Do you believe, yeah, definitely. Do you believe in speaking things into existence?
Yeah, that's, and more than speak it too, really try to find a reason why. If you're speaking things in your mind that you believe or that you're trying to manifest, like really figure out why. Like, what is your why are you manifesting those things? Like, it's a very deep thing. It's beyond just even trying. It's like that it'll happen, but what's the reason why? Like most people, anything happens, they wonder why right away. So if you're gonna make a change in the world, it's like, what is the reason why would you want to do that?
Why do you think like we should know our why?
It'll make Well, maybe to explain it to people, but even if you don't get a chance to explain it, um,
Yeah,
it'll
that's
it'll be there. It'll at least be real. You know, your why will at least be the real reason why. So if you don't ever get to explain it, maybe society will study that and they'll say this is what we collectively think was his why, and that's a good reason. You know, if it's good. You know.
okay. And when it comes to like other working with other artists, what do you look for? Like, does it matter if you guys already are friends or know each other in some way, or do you care about like professionalism or their skill or talent?
Sure, all of that really. It could be a mix of all of it. Like I don't really care about being friends. I love meeting new people, so that's awesome. Um, but I think mostly I look for, yeah, I think friendship, maybe like not being friends already, but if I think that we could be, if I think that there's some room for conversation or there's something that maybe it's intriguing about you, because I feel like that's what I'm putting in my music is the things that interest me. Or so if I find things interesting about you, maybe there's something you could provide to the music and we can experiment.
As an artist, can you listen to other people's work when you're making your own work?
Yeah. Yeah, I like to do that. I call it, I forget honestly. There was a term that I used to call it, but it's like when you are smelling candles or whatever and they have the coffee and it cleanses your smelling palette or whatever. Like I sort of do that with other people's music. When I'm making my own, I'll play something else totally off the wall, random, to sort of like rinse away all of those, sounds and everything that you're used to hearing. So when you come back to it, it feels like a totally different thing. All the sounds are fresh again.
Okay. What
Yeah.
makes an easy studio session for Psy versus a more challenging one so far?
Mostly the engineer whoever it is that's engineering the process, especially with the album. My first album, I did it with Andrew, so Andrew Kravonos. But he's just like the man, like so ever since, like, having that experience right away, the few studio sessions that we've had other engineers and producers that I'm not quite familiar with, it it definitely makes it the more difficult part of, like, just maybe getting the regular stuff done. So mostly the engineer.
And for those that don't know, what does the engineer do?
They are the hands-on the computer running the program. They're helping you record your voice, and ideally they would be helping you with any presets for your voice if you like your voice to sound a certain way, or want to edit your voice to experiment or anything. They kind of help you load in those processes, and they're just hands-on the computer, for 10 hours at a time. Just anything you say, I like this here, I want to try this, record this, do this, and they're just right there to listen to your every need and every want in the situation. So for what I'm saying, it makes it difficult when there's somebody that maybe doesn't know what you're talking about, or it maybe takes a little bit, just a little bit more conversation as the 10 hours go along for each thing. It just adds up to the studio time. We weren't able to get as much done this time because there's more explaining or more talking to do. So
Hmm. Oh, that's interesting.
yeah.
So do you prefer people to call you by your stage name, or do you mind if the public calls you by your real name?
It would be kind of strange if somebody I didn't know called me by my real name, but that's cool if they know it.
You know what, Sai, what is the best advice? Because we did talk about advice earlier. What is the best advice that an artist could get? And what is the worst advice that an artist could get?
Right away, I feel like the worst advice you could get ever would be like, uh, do what's popular, or this is what's cool right now. Somebody gets excited and they come to you and they're like, this is what you should do, or anything that feels like it's happening like too quick, or like, yeah, they're just too much in it. Like, I feel like you should probably take a step back and not do right away what people say for you to do. That's terrible advice for me. But so the best advice I would say ever, best advice I ever heard still to this day is a video. I don't know how old it is or where you could find it, but it was an interview with Jay-Z, and he talks about the knowing that an artist has. That's what he calls it, is the knowing or a knowing or whatever he refers it to. But when you have like the knowing in you and you know like this is what I'm doing, follow that. And that's the best advice that I've ever heard, because nobody, it's not influenced from the outside, it's not coming from some external source. It's just right inside of you. You know that this is what you want to do, so this is what you're gonna do, you know.
And on that note, Sai, everybody. I love talking with you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. You're very welcome, and would love to talk with you again in the future. Thank you for coming.
Let's do it.
All right. Yes. And let everyone know how they can keep up with you and check out, your projects. They got to check it out.
I'm still not on Instagram, y'all, so we're staying off of that for now. But you could follow Recovering Child Music on Instagram, just at Recovering Child Music, and there's a website there you could look. You could find the other artist stuff from RCM. It's a lot of great stuff we got going on. And you could check my website, sciforever.com. We got the album for sale on there. Yeah, send us a message. My manager is Big City Manager on Instagram. Send him a message. We're open to working with y'all, whatever y'all want to do.
There it is, everyone. I'm gonna add this part in, but why are you still off of Instagram?
I'm still off of Instagram because I feel like it's mostly for promotion. The more I've moved into this space, it's mostly for promotion and stuff like that. So I don't want that to be a reason why people don't think that what I'm doing is authentic. I'm living for the Instagram. I'm posting up where I'm at and stuff. I don't know. It's something gimmicky about it. It's the reason why I never did TikTok too. Like, it feels gimmicky to me and it feels lame a little bit. So I just want to wait till my Instagram is something that people are like, we need you on Instagram. I'll be like, all right, then if it's useful and I can announce the tours and stuff like that, then cool. But if it just feels like promotion and, hey, follow me, then, nah, that's okay,
All right, well, they do have other ways that they can connect with you.
Sure, yeah.
All right, well, there it is. I love it. Just keep going. You're already like doing great. So yeah, you're no problem at all. And thank you everyone who tuned into this. Check it out and tell a friend. Suchabop.
Bye.